It's hard for me often to know where my story begins. There's so much of it, and I think, like everyone else, we have so many phases of our lives that are impactful. My childhood, like many people, was super dysfunctional. There was a lot of abuse, really, which you don't always see when you're in it. And so that just sort of really colored my childhood, and it colored the way I saw the world, and it colored the way I saw myself. I have an older sister, and I have a younger brother. And when I was 21, my brother was 17, and at one point we found out that he was using drugs. Looking back now, I feel like I wish I could have done things so much differently. But I guess you can just do the best you can with what you have at the time. And he passed away from a drug overdose. So that was, I think, just super impactful in the trajectory of my life. I was married right after that and got pregnant super quickly. But I don't think you can come out of such a dysfunctional childhood and roll into a healthy marriage. I just started to become very unhappy in my marriage. And I remember I would drive down the road I live, and I would just think I think maybe I'll just, crash into one of these trees, because that will fix all the things, then I won't be the one ruining my kids' lives. I won't be the one taking away their family. And then I won't also have to live this way anymore, just sad every day and alone every day. And, I'll be off the hook.
I feel it in this room. Holy Spirit, move. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break. Tear down every lie, set the wrong thing right. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break.
When I left my marriage, I left pretty much with nothing. I took my clothes and maybe some pots and pans, and that's it. And I just started over. And I sold my rings for half the security deposit on the house that I rent. And my biggest worry was that if I couldn't afford my rent and I couldn't pay my bills, I would lose my house, and then I would lose my kids. I just lived in so much fear and anxiety for a good 2.5 years of just that, of just trying to keep things together and hold it together for my kids. And eventually I got a great job, and I was there for 3 years, and I was finally okay. I was going to the gym, I was paying my bills, my kids were good. And so I started dating again. I dated on and off since my divorce. We'd gone on a few dates. We'd been dating for a few weeks when he asked me to go over to his house. I remember it was Halloween that night. It's taken me a while to be able to use the word, right? I've always said in the past, I was assaulted, because I think assaulted is, more, it's just an easier word for people to swallow, and you don't want to make people uncomfortable. Sorry. It's hard to say, but I was raped that night. And, that really just changed everything in that moment. I talked to my friend Adrienne. I ended up telling her what had happened weeks before with this guy. And I remember just crying and saying to her, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to do so well, and these bad things keep happening to me. I know God. I'm praying. I'm a good person. I love my kids so much. I'm doing the best I can. What more is there? What am I not doing? And she just looked at me, and I swear I'll never forget the words as long as I live. But she just said, Allison, your way just isn't working. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget those words, because they changed everything for me. And I knew then what I had to do. I knew that I just had to surrender fully to God and to Jesus and to the way God would have me live, rather than the way I wanted to do things, which was my way, right? And I think we all like to do things our way. And I think that God never promises that life is going to be easy and without pain. But there's such a difference in the way that I navigate life now, and that's the biggest thing. And I used to look at the pain in my life as like a burden, something that I had to, deal with, something that was given to me. And that's not it. I think God gives us the pain that we have to prepare us for something better and to lead us to something better. He just wants us to lean into him with it. He wants us to seek him. That's the biggest blessing, is knowing knowing now, no matter what happens in my life, no matter what other painful things happen or scary things happen or hard things happen, and I know there are going to be those things, but I know that I am not alone in that anymore. I don't have to do it all by myself. I'm not on my own. And, I don't need a relationship or any of those things to make those things easier, because I have Jesus.